Morning, greetings and salutations, YouTube. It's Hayden here. Welcome to another episode of the vlog. I'm in the coffee station with John. He's getting up some pita bread. And I'm gonna make a new coffee. Well, I'm gonna make coffee in my new Yeti mug that I just dipped yesterday. Super duper excited. I love it. I just washed it. I just used it last night too. But I'm so excited. John, are you excited?
For what?
For my new mug.
Sure.
That's the face of excitement. Having one of these little 3-in-1 coffees. Yum. Eliza's trying to build something with his blue Legos. Because he wants to make something that's going to match the Yeti cup. So he's over here working fastidiously and completing some sort of Lego thing. Right, Eliza? Mm-hmm. What are you making? Hey guys, okay, so we are in my room now and I have been cleaning it out and kind of like doing some spring cleaning before it's actually spring in my room and looking for things that I had that were projects that I wanted to do for handbag rehabs that I haven't gotten to. So this is one of them. This is a Saint Laurent little card wallet. It has like a zipper right here that you can like put stuff into, and then it has just these card slots right here, and it just has like some like discoloration. As you can see, there's like a mark right there. It looks like this is a part that was just like rubbing up against like your pocket or whatever when it was being used. So I wanted to just go ahead and maybe try to repair that so you can see if we can get rid of that mark. So to do that, I'm just going to get some leather conditioner first. We're just going to take a couple steps to see what is going to work best with repairing this. So I have some leather dye that we may or may not use, depending on how the wallet comes out using our various products. The other thing I'm going to be trying is, actually I'm going to try this first, is the Cadillac boot boot and shoe leather lotion. This stuff is the best. I'll have it linked in the description box down below if you guys are interested in trying it out. But I'm just going to get a little microfiber cloth right here. I have it right there. I'm just going to put a little bit of this conditioner onto here. And then we're just gonna condition the wallet first and see how that looks. So that pretty much did a pretty good job. There is still definitely a tad bit of color loss. So this is a good way to prep the area before we start. This is going to just clean it off as well as condition the area and get it ready and prepared to accept our dye. So I also want to go on to the back as well. There's still some excess leather lotion on there. The back is in pretty good shape, just needs a little bit of leather lotion. But since we're gonna hit the front, I think we might as well hit the back as well. So here's how it's looking. Definitely is still like that little like line of demarcation. So sometimes the leather lotion is enough to get that out. But sometimes you're going to need a little bit of a boost. So I'm hoping that our trusty Kiwi leather dye is going to work. If you guys want to try this out, please get the leather dye and not the, do not get the leather, I always forget what it's called. Polish. The polish and a dye. Please get the dye. The dye is not going to rub off. It's going to stay steadfast and it's going to not rub off on your clothing and anything once it dries. So usually I let this dry for about 1 to 2 days, 24 to 48 hours before I start using the item, but the dye itself will dry to the touch within just a few minutes. It's very, very quick. You can hold it and touch it and it's not gonna rub off on your fingers, but just wouldn't actually actively start using it and throwing it inside like my pocket or inside a bag for 24 to 48 hours, because you need that time for the dye to like completely cure and finish absorbing itself into the leather, and it won't rub off on clothing or other leathers or anything like that. So anyway, let's get started. You want to shake it up first, and then you kind of just like push it down onto the leather to get the ink flowing. And then I like to go in a circular motion, or counterclockwise and then clockwise, just both ways, just to make sure that that dye really gets into all of the crevices and all that of the item. And then I'm just gonna let it sit, and I'm gonna see how it looks once it's done. But I think it did a pretty okay job. It definitely did color in those spots. I think the reason that you can still kind of see it is because that area, the little texture that the leather had has been rubbed away, and it's more of a smooth texture, so then you can definitely kind of like see a line right there. So but I feel like the dye really did help, because some of that color was removed and it was a lot lighter, but now it's not as obvious. And especially when it's in use, when you have like when you have your cards in here and the leather is pulled more taut, it's not going to be very noticeable at all. So I'm just going to let this dry, and then we're going to hit the back. Alright you guys, here is the wallet, and I think it is looking fantastic, nice and clean. And yeah, I really don't mind that little line thing too much. I don't know if I'm going to be keeping this or I'm going to be putting it in the shop, so let me know below in the comments what you guys think. Would anyone like to buy this? Let me know down below, but I think I'm gonna put it up in the shop. So if you guys are interested, go check it out, and just go to itsHadrian.com and see if it's there. But the next thing I wanted to do is, this is actually gonna be a rehab that I'm going to be filming separately, but I did want to clean the inside with you guys right now and see how clean we can get it. It does just have like, do you see these marks right there? This is definitely from the key holder thing right here. So this is an authentic Miu Miu key case, which I love. I actually got this as a gift with purchase when I was buying other things online. I bought 2 bags from someone, and they sent this to me for free, which was very, very nice and very generous. But it's a beautiful little Miu Miu key case, and I just wanted to clean it up. I wanted to see how clean we can get the interior, because I don't know if I want to dye the inside, because I feel like the inside's not too bad. I think the outside, I'm definitely, it might be a little bit more difficult, because it has like this glaze, like this finish, and I don't know if it's like a patent or what it is exactly. So I don't know, it might be a little bit of like something difficult to fix, so I'm not 100% certain what we're gonna do with that. But the interior, I wanted to see how clean we can get it, and I'm using my Kiwi quick dry boot cleaner. This stuff is magic, so let's see how this goes. And I'm just gonna put a little of that foam on there, and I think I might even brush it in with my horsehair brush. And let's see, and I'm actually gonna let it sit, because this stuff, if you let it sit, it like loosens up the dirt. And the only thing is that you don't want it to like sit for too long, because it might actually lift the color a little bit as well. But I'm just gonna let it sit for like a hot second, so we can see how that turns out. And I'm gonna use the microfiber cloth to wipe it up and see if that removes any of that dirt on there. So I have my microfiber cloth. It's been sitting for a little bit, right? So let's clean up the one side. And Let's see what happened right here. So it cleaned up the superficial dirt. This other stuff, that is like really, really, really in there. We might have to go over it a couple times. But thanks to like the microfiber cloth, it is kind of like getting in there and pulling up the dirt that's inside. I kind of even might want to stick like my finger inside so that it can flatten the surface. And we can get more of that dirt out. Because right here underneath, it has the little button. I feel like the button is kind of like impeding on how well the cloth can get in there and wipe up that interior. Ooh, that did a good job. It's still it definitely has some color loss though, because you can see that it's not just pink, it's kind of like brown. And once you start seeing that brown, that's actually the leather, like the actual leather color. So I'm pretty satisfied with that. I mean, this is the interior. It's gonna happen regardless. So I'm not too like concerned with how the interior is, because when you have keys in here, keys are just dirty, they will scuff it up, and I kind of just like this regular interior lining of this already. And I'm really more concerned with the exterior, because the exterior is the part that you're going to see all the time, and it's the part that definitely has the most wear and tear. The interior actually is not the worst, so I'm not like too mad at the interior. It actually held up pretty well, considering also that it's kind of like a light color. It's like a mauve, and I actually like the color, and if I dyed the exterior black, I think that it would definitely still go with this color in the interior. I actually think it'll look really nice against this like mauve, kind of like putty color of the interior. So there we go. I think we did a pretty good job. Yeah, I'm pretty happy. So really it's the exterior that's like a hot mess. So I don't know. I might actually practice like on the back of it a little bit and see like on this side and see what happens when I put dye on it. I'm actually going to do that with you guys, because this is what I do when I'm going to practice like working on a bag or something. I feel like want to figure out the steps that I'm gonna do. This is kind of like my process of elimination, kind of, for how this is going to be. So I'm cleaning the exterior just so that makes sure that it's nice and clean. And this is the part that I'm gonna work on, this little rectangular spot that I'm cleaning right here where the buttons are. And I'm really interested in seeing how the leather like reacts to the products I'm going to be using. So I'm actually going to get a couple of Q-tips right here, and I'm going to use a product. You guys have seen this, have seen me use it before if you watched my videos. I'm using the Angelus leather preparer and deglazer, and I'm using the Q-tip to apply it to the leather of the key case, and I want to see what happens to that glaze, because I feel like that glaze might be a little bit problematic once we start trying to dye it. So I'm just really going for it. And then I'm going to let it dry, and I'm going to see how it feels, because if it's patent, I might still be able to dye it black, because I've seen and read about dyeing patent, and as long as you're dyeing it black, no matter what color it is, like, it should work, I think. So I feel like that might be my only option, and the deglazer step is one of the steps that you use to do this, so we will see. Because I know that some of the glaze is removed from the rest of the wallet. So I just really want to make sure that we get like an even finish. I like it's weird, like giving it like a milky, like when it dries, it has like a milky color. Like I don't know what that is. Are you guys see? I feel like it's not coming up on camera at all, but it kind of has like a milky cast. And I'm kind of going over this a lot, but I really want to see how this turns out. So. Okay, that is it. Now, hold on one second. I'm gonna look for my dye. Alright guys, this is the dye that I use. It's the Angelus leather dye. It's my absolute favorite. I'm gonna have this linked down below in the description box if you guys want to try it out. I have used a lot of other dyes, and this one I found by far for me is my favorite one, and the one I really I find the most reliable in terms of dyeing. Other than the kiwi, which is pretty much, I only use that for like when I'm just trying to touch up leather that's already black. But if I'm gonna dye something like this, I would use this Angelus leather dye. So the box is really handy because you actually can use it to prop up your dye. It has this little thing right here. The dye sits inside and it's not gonna fall over when you drop it. And trust me, you're gonna wanna do that because I have accidentally dropped the dye bottle a couple times in the past, and it is not good. It is not a fun time. It is awful. It's miserable to clean up, and it literally will stain everything. So now you give it a good shake. We're gonna try it out. I'm actually just gonna use the dye that's in the lid. I have a paintbrush. You can use a dauber, which actually comes with this if you buy it. It's kind of like an enlarged cotton swab thing, but I'm just gonna try this on here. Maybe I actually do need to use. Might just dunk the whole thing in there. And I just want to see how the leather reacts to the dye. And see how this works out. I already feel like this might be a little bit of a mission. But we will see. This also isn't the best paintbrush. I actually cut the end of it, because I used it for glue foolishly when I was gluing something, and I feel like the bristles are a little janky, but it'll be okay for a preliminary trial of the dye. So I'm just gonna go ahead and dye. I think I'm just gonna dye this whole backside of the wallet card case and see how it looks after we do this first kind of layer. And don't worry if you get it on the hardware, because the hardware is really easy to clean if you get dye on it. So don't like stress out trying not to get, like, don't like do it on purpose, but if you accidentally get a little bit of dye on the hardware, like, it's totally no problem. So I'm actually just gonna let this sit for like a hot second. And I'll get back to you, and then we'll try like a second pass and see how this turns out. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay guys, this is it dry after the first run. I'm mixing up the dye again, shaking it up, and I'm actually switching to a Q-tip to apply the dye this second time. I think it'll be a lot easier, but we will see. After I apply this second round of dye to this, then I'm gonna see whether or not the dye will stay steadfast onto this, because I feel like it's not, to be honest, because of the finish. I feel like the finish is like slightly problematic with the dye, and then we're gonna have to see if we can do something else. But this is my first time like dyeing something like this, so it's all a little bit up in the air. Okay, there's my second coating. I'll let it dry and I'll be back with you guys in a second. But this is how it looks so far. Okay guys, this is how it is looking so far. It looks pretty good, I think. I definitely need to do one more pass. I feel like we're gonna have to wait till tomorrow till this like fully dries to see how the results actually are. So I'm just gonna shake up this dye one more time. We're going to add one more pass of the dye, and then we'll see how that goes. We'll check it out tomorrow and see how it looks. I'm hoping that it looks, see, like when I do that, you can see like the dye is like coming off when I do it too hard. I have a feeling it's not sticking. Like the dye is not gonna stick. So I feel like we might have to figure out something else for this. I'm not too sure. Because I know when you add the dye has a lot of, I don't know the exact properties of the dye, but I think it has a lot of alcohol in it. So then it kind of like loosens up the other dye underneath, and then when it dries, when the alcohol evaporates, that's when the dye can like really penetrate the leather. But I don't know, we are going to see how this turns out. But I think this is gonna be the end of the video, you guys. Thank you guys again so much for hanging out with me today and doing a little bit of a handbag rehab with me. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys did, don't forget to give the video a big thumbs up. Don't forget to say hi down below in the comments. Let me know what your thoughts are on this wallet. I honestly feel like we're gonna have to figure out a different way to do this, because it is not going through this whatever this finish is. It's like some sort of plastic finish, and I don't know, we're gonna find out tomorrow once I try to figure out what is in it. So thank you guys so much for watching. Love you guys so much. See you guys all later. Bye. Okay, there's actually a lot of people in the store today, which I don't know how I feel about that. Mickey Mouse backpack. There's lots of little kids running around today. It's a little disconcerting. Skip it? Oh my gosh. I remember my skip it. I would